GT Radial Falcon driver Dean Perkins has a nickname that doesn't exactly fit his quietly spoken, almost shy manner. He's become known as Wild Man. He reckons he's mystified as to how he came by the alias.
I'm not sure. I think it's just maybe some of the attitudes the car gets on out there sometimes.
You seem to like going sideways a little bit.
Yeah, I've had to pull my head in on that a little bit, but yeah, I still occasionally like to chuck it around.
It's a hangover, he reckons, from a past life.
Yeah, that's the old muscle car days when you had plenty of horsepower and it was a lot of fun, but unfortunately have to get a little bit more serious now.
The new rules, designed to bring the Fords up to the Holden's performance, don't appear to have kicked in so far this weekend.
Yeah, the Fords are definitely struggling here at Timaru. We'll just have to see. I think they'll be more suited to Invercargill, so we'll just have to wait and see.
You know, if I talk to you about the Holdens might have a better package, I mean, means one day you might turn up in a Holden?
I don't think so. Hopefully the weight thing will come into it and they'll be carrying a bit of weight, might even things up.
So that's a fairly adamant no.
Definitely.
Perkins has found himself the quiet man in the midst of a major GT Radial promotion.
Yeah, no, it's the class is we just can't believe how it's growing, and the following and the signings with all the kids and things. It's just amazing. And the level's really lifted up, and I'd just like to thank GT Radial and my crew. They're it's all doing a great job.
Perkins knows what it takes to be a front runner in this class.
It seems to who does the most testing seems to be a real advantage. So yeah, no, but they're all going well. Some of these new guys are coming on strong and coming on fast.
For you, I mean, is it good to have so many people coming into the class?
Yeah, no, it is. It's always good to see some new faces. Got a couple of younger guys, and they're coming on strong and doing well. Yeah. It's good.
Warming their tyres now for the second of the Parker NZ V8 touring car races here at Timaru. This is the back straight, the big long back straight with the fast left-hander off it. Kane Scott, the man who won the first race, who qualified on pole yesterday as well, of course, starting off the front again.
In car with Mark Pedersen, last year's V8 touring car champion. A lot of work to do from this position mid-pack.
Yes, things haven't really improved since they had the crash at Pukekohe, so still a lot of work to do, as you say. On board with Michael Tom, another one with lots of work to do. He's well down the order, finished about 16th in race 1. So to the grid for the second race, the same as the grid for race 1. Kane Scott on pole alongside Andy Booth in the Team Kiwi racing car. Then it's Angus Fogg and Nick Ross in the second TKR car.
Third row, Dean Perkins in his Falcon alongside Paul Pedersen in 6th, Wade Henshaw in 7th and Andrew Anderson in 8th.
In 9th place, it's the Ford Falcon of Brady Kennett alongside Adam Brook in his Ford. Then back to Mark Pedersen, another Ford, and Michael Shepherd, another Falcon.
In 13th place, we've got Rob Lewis in his Commodore. Alongside him, Danum Templeman in his Commodore. Andrew Fawcett again in a Commodore, followed by Michael Tom in 16th.
So let's go racing. This is the view from Kane Scott's Holden Commodore, the super cheap car out front. Looking back at Angus Fogg's car alongside Kane Scott, of course, is Andy Booth on the right there. And look how close you like it. Angus Fogg nudging right up beside him, but Andy Booth getting the squeeze. No, he's not. Gives him the squeeze back and keeps him out. Oh, trouble here. That's Dave Thexton's White Falcon getting half turned around as he came through there. Look at the cars ploughing through the dust on the infield here.
5 into 2 just doesn't fit. When you've got 30 cars coming on, it's just too much.
Dean Perkins on board was looking back at the Malay back on that first corner, even as he got onto the back straight. But Kane Scott doing a runner one more time, just like race 1.
Just got the power down onto the back straight and he's just pulled away, straight away out of the blocks. Great to see.
That's incredible. Look at the gap he's pulled already on Andy Booth. Big ruck of cars forming up just to back in about 6th or 7th place. So very competitive there, but out front, Kane Scott all on his own in the number 99 car.
Status quo from the first race by the looks of it. Same positions, just a little bit more torrid up front.
Torrid in that bunch, that's for sure. Anywhere except the top 4 places look like they're spread out a little bit this time, but back behind them, it's mayhem.
You can see them just bottlenecking up at that hairpin.
Let's check out the view from David Thexton. We saw him in trouble getting half turned around. Michael Tom up ahead of him. I think that's Grant Shivers off to the right. And Slim Templeman's orange car. Thexton maybe copped a bit of a push there. Wow, almost collects that guy as he goes through. So very, very busy opening seconds of the race for Dave Thexton, and continues as that's Aaron Harris goes past and Templeman is spun up there.
It's hard to keep up with it. Now back on board with Dave Parsons. Same corner, different view. And here we go, and he's getting squeezed to the left. Up across the dirt. Nowhere to go here.
Can't see where he's going even, for that matter. Meantime, out front, Kane Scott doing the business. Second place, Andy Booth. Third place, Angus Fogg, as it was in the first race. Fogg trying to put the pressure on again, but it didn't crack in the first race, Andy Booth. And now Nick Ross really driving hard and behind him.
You can see why there's such a big crowd turned out for this weekend. I mean, the racing is all the way down the field, and it's just absolutely full on.
But Kane Scott, boy, there's something awesome about that package that he's got together here now. He said he struggled through testing here. Now suddenly everything clicks into place and he's marching away from them.
There's something about doing that testing, just feeling comfortable with the car, having that setup, so when you come here, you're ready to race right from day one, and it's showing now.
Very good setup, though, also on board the Team Kiwi racing cars. They look a pretty good package this weekend. This is on board with Scott as he takes the infield. Greg, just talk us around here.
Basically down to second gear, feed the power on nice and steady, not to get the tail out. Into third, and on to the front straight.
This is just back behind him, back in about fifth place. Dean Perkins holding off Paul Pedersen one more time. These two had a big race last time as Dean takes us through the S's.
Now you can see Dean there hitting the rumble strips. Again, it hits it and just rights the car back onto the track, allows him to carry a bit more corner speed.
The GT Radial car looking back from that now, looking for Paul Pedersen. No, I thought he was looming up, but he's still held safely back behind him. Wade Henshaw tucked in behind him, I think it is. Yes, it is, and then Brady Kennett.
Now, Wade Henshaw's a local here, so he'll be looking to try and get a bit closer to the action up front this time round.
Someone stepped off there, I think that's all it was, though. Yes, everyone's still on the track as the view from Dino Perkins takes us around the loop at the back of the track.
This is an important part of the track for setup. The car just needs to be nice and well balanced, not too much push in the front or too much oversteer.
Well, it looks like Dean Perkins is holding up Paul Pedersen and Wade Henshaw. Look at Pedersen getting very eager to drive down the inside there, and Henshaw doing likewise to him. So I think there's a bit of a traffic jam building up here.
And this is the problem you get when these cars are so close. They get really tight with the action. If you make one mistake, it's all on.
Travelling on board with Michael Tom further back. Really has come off the form he showed last year, Mike Tom, and has struggled a little bit in that earlier race. And now with David Thexton.
Well, David Thexton's another one, campaigned in Australia this year. First time in V8 touring cars. Oh, there's a bit of action. I think it's one of the Team Kiwi cars.
No, further back than that, it must have been Grant Shivers, I think, in the dyno. And another one's gone round in the background, looking back from Michael Tom's car. So plenty of action all through this field for the big crowd, that's for sure.
So hard to keep up with it. Here we go. You see Wade Henshaw just taking a look down the inside there and behind Paul Pedersen. This is a battle. This battle's really heating up.
Dean Perkins doing a good job. If he is holding them up, it's not by much, that's for sure. And they cannot find a way by so far.
Now, driving conduct is a big issue here. You know, there's a gap there, but you have to make that split-second decision. Do I try or do I back off? And these guys are playing with us all the time.
Well, these three are all doing the same thing. Paul Pedersen really nosing in there when he see. Oh, and he's got a tag from behind. That was Wade Henshaw on the back of him. And he did a good job to recover that, actually. Lost one place.
Back on board with Dean Perkins. He's slowing here. Must have a problem. Yes, definitely pulling up. Well, that's a shame because he was right up there with the leaders.
And it's a shame for his series position because he was the series leader coming here, and this is going to be very costly.
With the level of competition the way it is, these sort of things, you know, they happen. It just makes it so hard to come back from this.
Well, Paul Manuel had the problem earlier. This is on board with Mark Pedersen. Looks like he's tracking down Wade Henshaw there.
Critical corner, this one, down the end of the back straight, carrying that corner speed through into the next corner of the infield where that handling issue is such an important one.
Now, someone who's doing a really good job here at Timaru is Adam Brook in the number 47 Falcon, right in behind Mark Pedersen's car. What's this?
Dean Perkins.
Yelling orders through the helmet, so obviously he has got a problem. He's trying to sort out with the team back in pit lane.
Wade Henshaw in fifth place, leading a quartet of cars battling for that next position.
Yes, Andy Anderson in there as well, just ahead of Mark Pedersen, then Adam Brook, and on the tail end of that group, I think it's Brady Kennett.
Number of cars have stepped up to the mark this weekend. Back on board with Mark Pedersen onto the back straight, hooking up, getting that maximum power down, pulling up to about 200 kilometres an hour.
Kane Scott looks like the Holden Commodore's on rails as he takes to the infield here at Timaru, doing a fantastic job through the hairpin now.
Again, out front, he can pick the race line that he wants without having to worry about looking in his mirror.
All he's got to worry about is lap traffic, the speed this guy's putting down here. Look at the gap he's opened up back to second place. Andy Booth, this time who's got a break on Angus Fogg, but it's Fogg taking a lot of pressure himself this time from Nick Ross in the second TKR car.
Yes, Nick Ross is definitely closer than he was in the first race, and he'll be looking to give Angus a hard time, help his teammate out.
Problems here. Grant Shivers pulls into pit lane in the Dynatron car. Looks like a lot of smoke coming out from under the bonnet there.
Looking down the back straight, Nick Ross pulling to the inside. Now that's interesting. He might have an overheating problem. Unusual that he's not in the slipstream of Angus Fogg.
In fact, it looks like he's dropped back quite a bit from Fogg just in those last few seconds of the race.
Yes, definitely a bit slower through there, but maybe it's an intermittent problem.
On board with Wade Henshaw as he goes off the back straight, round the big left-hander, heading towards the loop. No traffic right in front of him, so he's got a bit of room to move, but looking for a good solid finish here, I would think.
Well, definitely. I mean, Wade is from Christchurch, and again, a lot of his home people here watching him this weekend.
Yeah, well, we asked him before if he felt any more pressure now that the team boss, Mike Perro, is sponsoring the series. He says, no more than I put on myself anyway, so I'm out there to win the races. It makes no difference.
Well, they certainly presented very well. The whole team looks fantastic with both cars just absolutely immaculate.
This car currently running about 5th place behind Nick Ross. We're back at Timaru's Levels Raceway, and we're on board with Ashley Hall, travelling somewhere back in the high teens in the second race of the Parker NZ V8s.
Second season for Ashley Hall, again, returned to the sport after a break, and again, fantastically prepared cars.
Out front, though, it's Kane Scott doing the business in the super cheap Commodore, and you can see the lead break that 99 car has on Andy Booth, the man he headed home in race 1 earlier on today.
Yes, and that gap between Booth and Angus Fogg is increased as well, so Angus will be working hard to try and bridge that for sure.
Out front, though, Kane Scott doing the business. Here's the face of the man who's 5 times won the New Zealand Trans Am Championship, done very well in other tin top classes as well, and now making his debut season in V8 touring cars and doing it in great style here at Timaru. One race win under his belt already today, and this one looks well and truly sewn up as he gets down into the last lap of the race.
Yes, this will have the other competitors scratching their head. I mean, what a fantastic result. Second meeting in V8 touring cars, and he's right at the front.
Very, very well set up car. Of course, that Petch team that Kane Scott runs for has been around in all kinds of motor racing in New Zealand for a very long time, so you'd have to say they kind of know their way around, just as the driver does.
On board with Michael Tom, a little bit further in the pack, heading into the infield again. Nice smooth line. I think he's in behind Adam Brook there.
Yes, it is Adam Brook, the Christchurch driver, the travel and tourism car, and Adam Brook getting a little bit wide there. Michael Tom doesn't need to be asked twice, dives on through on the inside and onto the back straight.
I think Adam Brook might have gone off there as well. He's got the squeeze for sure. Back with Kane Scott, getting down to the last lap of the race, and again, he's just doing it in style.
Got a very big break this time on the opposition. Oh, big accident there. That is Paul Manuel's car off on the side of the track. The Oryx car, I think it was Andrew Fawcett. Here's a replay from David Thixton's point of view. All you really see is dust and smoke because that is at that very, very fast part of the track down at the far end of the back straight. So Paul Manuel has gone in very, very hard as Kane Scott comes through to take the checkered flag. Big drama. Still see the dust in the background where Paul Manuel on the Oryx car has gone off.
Kane Scott, 2 out of 2. Fantastic result. Well done.
He's a very happy man, as you can well imagine, but look at that damage on Paul Manuel's Oryx car. At least Paul's in good state. There he has walked away from it. That is fantastic, but what a sight the car is. That's a shocker.
Yes, serious damage. That car won't be going anywhere in a hurry.
Kane, a great day gets even better.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah, it's just having a lot of fun out there, that's for sure.
With 2 wins in the bank, how do you approach the reverse grid race?
Oh, listen, I've got no idea. I hope someone can give me some advice before it, eh? These cars are all so even, you know, there's not a lot between any of them. We've just had a good run today, and that's where, the difference in qualifying's just paid divvies for us today. But, yeah, I don't know, Gio. As I said earlier, we'll cross everything and just hope for the best in the reverse grid. We've got a pretty good car, so maybe things would work out for us.
Andy Booth, another second place, and the championship situation must be looking pretty good.
Yeah, well, it looked like Paul and Dean both came to grief in that race. So obviously, that's a couple of other front runners out of contention for this weekend. I just need some of the traction that super cheap car's got, because both Angus and I just couldn't seem to match Kane off the slower corners, and he would just pull out a little bit each lap.
Paul, the first race was bad, but the second one was terrible.
I was driven off the track at high speed. It's just I'm lucky the car is a safe car and built safe, because it was a big hit. It's the biggest hit I've ever had. The car's toast, and all because of a slow running back marker with little discipline and probably less ability at this stage, from what I can see, has decided to take me out of the race. So I thought Andy would have had a bit more brains in there between his ears, but obviously not.
Harsh comments there from an understandably upset Paul Manuel, but race officials did look at the telemetry from both cars and called it a racing incident. So Kane Scott takes another victory here, again ahead of Andy Booth and Angus Fogg, with Nick Ross in fourth and Wade Henshaw fifth ahead of Paul Pedersen.
Seventh, Andrew Anderson, followed by Mark Pedersen, Brady Kennett, Michael Tom, Adam Brook and Aaron Harris.